How does a man go from an overlooked kid in Ukraine to standing on top of two entire divisions?
Champion of the world, Usyk!
This isn't just a story about belts. It's about defying every expectation, fighting in the face of war, and proving that skill can conquer power. This is the remarkable journey of Oleksandr Usyk. In boxing, most champions stick to their comfort zone, collect a few belts, defend them, and retire secure. But Oleksandr Usyk was never satisfied with safe. From the start, he set his sights on unifying every major title at cruiserweight and then dared to step into heavyweight, the most dangerous division of them all. He wasn't built like a giant. He didn't rely on brute force. Instead, he built his career on discipline, movement, and a mind that could solve any puzzle in the ring. Today, we're going to retrace each step of his career, from small gyms in Crimea to the grandest stages in boxing. This is how Usyk became one of the most accomplished fighters of the modern era. Oleksandr Usyk was born in January 1987 in Simferopol, a city in Crimea. His childhood was shaped by modest surroundings, far removed from the glitz of professional sports. He first fell in love with football, playing for local teams. But by his teenage years, boxing began to call to him. Unlike many champions who start throwing punches almost as soon as they can walk, Usyk was nearly 15 when he dedicated himself fully to boxing. That late start could have held him back, but in his case, it forced him to master the basics. His coaches often said he was the most determined student they'd ever seen. He studied every movement, how to pivot, how to slip a jab, how to create angles that no one else noticed. By the late 2000s, Usyk wasn't just competing, he was conquering Ukraine's amateur scene, collecting medals everywhere he went. In 2008, he earned European gold, and in 2011, he became world champion in the heavyweight amateur division. But his crowning achievement was the 2012 London Olympics, where he defeated all challengers to claim a gold medal. Even then, fans and analysts noticed there was something different about him. He wasn't just winning, he was controlling every second of every fight with a cold, quiet confidence. But an Olympic gold doesn't guarantee professional glory. If you stick around, you'll see how Usyk's first steps as a pro were full of risk and how he quickly gained a reputation as a man who feared no one. When Usyk turned pro in 2013, he signed with the Klitschko brothers promotional team, K2 Promotions. From day one, he made it clear he didn't want to waste time on easy fights. While many rising prospects spend years padding their records against low-level opponents, Usyk insisted on challenging for real stakes. His first major test came in September 2016 when he faced Krzysztof Glowacki in Poland for the WBO Cruiserweight World title. Glowacki was undefeated in fighting on home soil, surrounded by thousands of Polish fans who expected him to defend the belt. But Usyk wasn't intimidated. From the opening bell, he set a pace Glowacki couldn't match, circling, jabbing, and landing clean shots that frustrated the champion. After 12 rounds, Usyk won by unanimous decision, claiming his first world title after just 10 professional bouts. This was no ordinary title win. It announced that he was determined to become undisputed, no matter how many arenas he had to invade to do it. In 2017, the World Boxing Super Series tournament was announced, a bracket designed to unify the cruiserweight division and award the Muhammad Ali Trophy to the winner. Usyk signed up without hesitation, even though it meant he would have to fight the best of the best, one after another, often on their turf. His first opponent was Marco Huck, a German veteran known for rough tactics and heavy hands. In Berlin, Usyk systematically broke Huck down, punishing him until the referee stopped the contest in the 10th round. It was an early sign that Usyk wasn't just technically skilled, he was willing to fight aggressively when necessary. Next, he traveled to Riga, Latvia, to face Maris Briedis. This was the toughest test of Usyk's cruiserweight career. Briedis came in undefeated and motivated to prove himself. The fight turned into a brutal, close-quarters chess match. Usyk was forced to adjust in real time, sometimes trading punches rather than relying purely on movement. After 12 exhausting rounds, the judges awarded Usyk a narrow majority decision. He was battered but victorious, and now one step away from undisputed. The final obstacle was Murat Gassiev in Moscow, a knockout artist who many believed would be too powerful. But Usyk delivered the defining performance of his cruiserweight run. He glided around the ring, outworking and outlanding Gassiev, leaving no doubt about the result. When the final bell rang, Usyk had achieved what few thought possible. He became the undisputed cruiserweight champion, holding the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO belts all at once. You might think that would be enough for any fighter's legacy, but Usyk was just getting started. Next, he set his sights on the heavyweight division, where one mistake can end your night in an instant. After cleaning out cruiserweight, Usyk announced he would step up to heavyweight. Critics were skeptical. At cruiserweight, he'd been a big man, 6 feet 3 inches, with a long reach. But at heavyweight, he would face opponents who outweighed him by 20, 30, even 40 pounds. His first test was American veteran Chaz Witherspoon in October 2019. Though Witherspoon wasn't elite, Usyk needed to prove that his speed and footwork could still be effective. He boxed cautiously for a few rounds, then began to overwhelm Witherspoon, forcing a corner retirement after 7 rounds. The bigger test came in 2020 when he fought Derek Chisora in London. Chisora's plan was simple: pressure Usyk non-stop and see if he could handle heavyweight power. In the early rounds, Chisora's aggression put Usyk on the defensive, but gradually Usyk adjusted, landing sharp counters and moving just enough to avoid damage. By the final bell, he had done enough to win a clear decision, silencing some of the critics who claimed he couldn't handle heavyweight brawlers. But questions remained. Could he beat a champion? Could he take the belts from someone in their prime? Those questions were answered in September 2021 when Usyk stepped into the ring with unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. The fight took place at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of over 60,000 fans, most of them cheering for Joshua. On paper, Joshua held every advantage: size, strength, experience at heavyweight. Usyk was widely considered the underdog, but from the opening moments, it was clear Usyk had come with a plan. He stayed light on his feet, constantly changing angles, peppering Joshua with quick combinations. Joshua struggled to find his rhythm and looked increasingly hesitant as the rounds passed. In the final round, Usyk nearly stopped Joshua on his feet, landing a barrage of punches that sent shockwaves through the stadium. Though the fight went to the cards, the result was undeniable. Usyk had outclassed the champion and taken his titles. In that moment, Usyk didn't just win belts. He announced to the world that he was no longer just a cruiserweight. He was the man to beat. But the story wasn't over. While Usyk celebrated, Joshua was already plotting revenge. And behind the scenes, Usyk's world was about to be torn apart by war. In early 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Like many Ukrainian athletes, Usyk returned home to help his country. For weeks, he assisted with humanitarian efforts, even joining territorial defense units. The rematch with Joshua was postponed as Usyk balanced the unimaginable pressures of war with the obligations of his career. Eventually, he was granted permission to leave Ukraine to train for the fight. Many wondered if the emotional toll would affect him. In August 2022, the rematch took place in Saudi Arabia. Joshua fought with more urgency, targeting Usyk's body and trying to wear him down. But once again, Usyk's composure made the difference. In the championship rounds, he surged ahead, landing crisp shots and finishing stronger than ever. The judges awarded him a split decision, and Usyk retained his titles. Afterward, he dedicated the victory to the Ukrainian people, draping himself in the blue and yellow flag as tears welled in his eyes. In that moment, it was clear that his fights were about more than personal glory. They were about representing a nation under siege. Today, Usyk holds the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO heavyweight belts. Only the WBC title, held by Tyson Fury, remains outside his grasp. Talks of an undisputed showdown between Usyk and Fury dominated boxing headlines, and fans didn't have to wait long. In May 2024, Usyk and Tyson Fury finally met in the ring to crown the first undisputed heavyweight champion of the four-belt era. Fury, towering over Usyk and carrying a massive weight advantage, used his awkward rhythm and reached to trouble Usyk in the early rounds. But as the fight wore on, Usyk found his timing, slipping Fury's jabs and landing sharp counters. In the 9th round, he landed a stunning combination that nearly had Fury out on his feet. When the final bell rang, the judges awarded Usyk a split decision victory, making history once again. But one fight wasn't enough. In March 2025, the two met for an immediate rematch. Fury, this time better prepared, pressed forward with relentless pressure, forcing Usyk to adapt once more. The fight turned into a tactical chess match, with moments of wild exchanges. But once again, Usyk's discipline and footwork made the difference. After 12 hard-fought rounds, Usyk edged out a close unanimous decision, silencing any remaining doubters and cementing his place among boxing's all-time greats. Usyk's legacy is secure. He's one of only a handful of men to unify every major belt at cruiserweight and then become undisputed at heavyweight. His style, based on technique, intelligence, and discipline, has redefined what's possible for smaller heavyweights. He's a reminder that in boxing, the mind is often more powerful than raw muscle. Whether or not he faces another challenger, Usyk has etched his name among the sport's legends. He is proof that no challenge is too big if you have the courage to face it head-on. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible career of Oleksandr Usyk, hit the subscribe button and join our community of boxing fans. Let us know in the comments which fighter's story you want us to cover next. Thanks for watching, and remember, in boxing, history can be rewritten at any moment.